disagreement about that, were they?
Oh, he's a handful, and he's been consistent recently. And of course, when you have an end product like he's getting now, then you take notice of this kid. I think we all saw him over the last few years. There's always been potential, but he's not been consistent, and that's the key time if you want to be a top player or a great player. And then if you're throwing the end product in, then yeah, keep an eye on him. He's looked like he's really settled into the club now. Maybe more belief, confidence, and he was almost unplayable today.
We use that word a lot, unplayable, but it does seem appropriate here this afternoon because Liverpool just couldn't get a handle on him, could they?
I think if you look at his style of play, he's one of the hardest players for defenders to go up against for me. I think he's so direct, can go either way. His power output, I think, over a short space, maybe 1 yard, when he drops his shoulder and goes, you can't. Everyone that he plays against, doesn't matter who it is, he's going to cause problems. You talk about his dribbling, he completes so many dribbles, creates so many chances, and I think right now, in his mind, he has a plan. I think sometimes players who are dribblers, they don't necessarily know sometimes what they're going to do. Whereas I think now he's getting himself into areas where he's like, okay, I'm going to go left here. I'm actually going to go right. He's not just playing off the cuff. So I think he's improved so much as a footballer this season, and he's going to go from strength to strength. The goal today was magnificent, and I think the only thing he needs to add maybe is more goals.
Yeah, and we'll come to his goal very shortly, but he had caused Liverpool problems before the first goal, Micah, which I suppose ironically was a team goal from City. Every player and the outfield had a touch in the build-up to this.
Yeah, but something I noticed within this, you say the way Liverpool are set up here, you see Robertson and Van Dijk change not at the right moment, then allows the cross to come in, and then Haaland in the air. Okay, you could say Konate is a little bit unlucky. But when the ball goes across, you've got your centre-half, left back at centre-half, and they should just stay in positions now. Now you've got Wirtz in one way. He's not going to help you stopping the cross. Normally Robinson, if he was in a position, he'd be out there
quicker. Could he still go, though? I know he doesn't get there quite in time, but he should still try.
He should still go, but he's not set, Dave. There's a difference between going. When you're in a full-back position there, it's all about your distances. And when you feel like you're not ready to go, because you don't, if he goes, he can go round him. So he waits and maybe expects Wirtz to come and help him. That doesn't happen. So if you look at here, Robertson and Van Dijk, as we've just shown now, City have got overload on the right-hand side, with Nunes going really, really high. But now when the ball goes up, it's too late for him to get there because he's got Wirtz in there. A little bit of communication. You probably want your winger then to just help you out, and then you drop off a little bit. But because he switched at the wrong moment...
But that's the fullback crossing the ball, though, so Wirtz should be out.
He should be out 100%.
They done the worst thing. They ended up doing nothing.
Correct.
Even if you go out and he beats you, do something. They've ended up in no man's land and lack that intensity and desire to stop crosses. And that goes back to that real desire. And to me, what I'm really disappointed with Liverpool, and we said a few years ago, 5-6 years ago, when the league, the following season, they lacked that intensity of what champions need, because obviously you're up there to be, you're the target and you're the best team. And Liverpool, to me, with that, we can show them little clips and go, yeah, he's swapping up. Yeah, these things happen in a game of football, but when you do have a decision to make, at least do it with some sort of
intent. When you say intensity, what do you mean? Just going out, yeah, but then you
talk to stop the cross.
You talk about champions and all that. Is that then just a mindset? Why would he not be going out there?
Maybe it's his third game in a week and he's not played a lot all season.
But still early in the game. It's not late in the game, and they were home and they only travelled down the road. Sometimes you make excuse for players travelling across Europe and the intensity of the games. They've had a home game down the road, so you want to be careful making excuses. But we'll have the same with the second goal. And people say, "Oh, he can be unlucky with the deflection." It does lack that intensity. I think if you're not at it as a team and you're just a little bit off it, like they are, at least get the basics right. You have to get the basics right, and that is stopping crosses and kind of being difficult to play against.
We'll come to the second goal, Roy, in just a second. But before then, the moment I suppose that Liverpool have to cling to was the disallowed goal. At 1-1, it might well have turned out to be a different game. And Virgil van Dijk gets a clean header on this. And there is interpretation on the law, whether this should or should not have been disallowed because of Andy Robertson's position in front of the goalkeeper in this instance. So the goal is disallowed on field. VAR have a look at it, and they agree that he is deemed to be making an obvious action directly in front of the goalkeeper. That's their interpretation. But what about the argument that potentially he sees that all the way?
I think he does see it all the way.
So should it then be disallowed?
I don't think it should have, based on what we can see with our eyes. But the rule book's the rule book. So if the referee is reading that, or someone's in his ear going, by the way, these are the rules, that angle's not favourable to Liverpool. But I think the other angle is favourable because you can clearly see he's in a fight. His role clearly is to block the goalkeeper. He's in a fight with Doku. This angle here, he's in a fight with Doku. You could argue when he connects with the ball, he can see that. His line of vision isn't impeded by Robertson. It's more impeded by Doku for me, if we're looking at the line of the ball.
You've got to reward also the defensive team. There's a reason they're coming up. They're not leaving people stand on the post to clear their line. They practice this. So he's a yard from the goalkeeper, so he is in his eye line.
Can we just play that last angle one more time? I think the reason why they probably gave it is because he ducked. So if you're a goalkeeper and you're set and you get any movement around you, just look at Robertson. When it comes in here, if you roll it on a little bit more,
and to be clear,
he ducks out the way. So now the keeper's thinking, is he going towards the ball?
I think it's that movement that they are referring to, rather than the fact that there's any line of vision which is impeding the goalkeeper in that instance. It's the movement in his direction.
It's a movement. I don't like it.
Have a look at the bottom point here. Making it clearly impacts on the ability of an opponent to.
Yeah, and it affects the goalkeeper, because if he's thinking he might get a touch in it, then that affects his movement, surely. And the whole idea of these defenders doing it, they do drills, they come out so they catch people offside. And what they'll say is like, it's interfering with the goalkeeper. Even the fact he's ducking is that obviously puts the goalkeeper off. And if you look at the goalkeeper's reaction, he's very smart, obviously vastly experienced. He complains straight away. He doesn't wait for the flag. He's saying, listen, this has affected my...
Yeah, he was the star of the show. 7 home wins in a row in all competitions now for Manchester City. 100 games for Jeremy Doku. I bet you were glad you weren't marking him today from a defender's point of view.
Yeah, when he's playing like that, he's unplayable at times, and his ability to go past any defender, any player, not just his speed, but his strength is underestimated as well. But I think this season we've seen a more composed end product. So I think we've seen the excitement and the dribbling and all that stuff and the work rate. I think now he's getting to a stage of where he's able to slow himself down a little bit once he's gone past someone and make the right decision and execute the right pass or the cross or the shot that we've seen today. But these moments here, I think you create your own luck when you're that direct and determined and you work so hard. You do drive at the fullback, because there's not many times he's resting in possession. He often drives directly at the fullback and makes the defender defend, which, no matter how much you enjoy defending, you don't want to have to do it every time the winger receives the ball.
And that initial burst of pace over the first 5 yards is frightening, isn't it?
It's insane. I think his top speed is very, very high anyway, but his ability to generate that straight away is crazy. Like, as soon as he's lifted his leg and he's took the step, he's flat out within one stride. So it is sometimes unstoppable, but these are the moments I think that he's worked on. I swear, when I saw him in the Club World Cup, there was just a different level of composure with the end product, and I think that's the only thing that's been missing in his game.
Yeah, and if you can add that to his game with the goals, I mean, it's a frightening product, isn't it?
Yeah, but Steve, that's part of growing as a player as well, and putting layers on your performance and what you can do. And certainly goals, just in big games and huge games like that, that's what he's at the club for. But I think watching him, we always knew and we've seen playing wide, a lot of them clips there, 1v1 against Bradley. But actually he's drifting in the pitch as well at times and looking comfortable receiving inside the pitch. And he's an important player, and I think that's a big thing for each individual player to think, actually, I'm in the team and I can make a big difference. Don't almost have to prove myself. He's kind of gone through that phase, and now he wants to kick on. He's playing with so much confidence, like he is one of the main players, and putting layers, as I said, on his level of performance almost every week. So I wouldn't want to play against him.
And he's still only 23 years of age. Right, all smiles for Manchester City then, but another damaging away defeat for Liverpool in the Premier League. Here's their captain, Virgil van Dijk.
Well, Virgil, game when you had the ball in the net, obviously it didn't stand. As you stand here now, do you look back at that, or do you reflect more on how Liverpool played today?
I think in football, obviously, there are key decisions. That obviously happens, and the officials are deciding this, and we have to deal with it on the pitch, both teams. And I think there's no point to discuss this on my point of view. But the reality is that we lost it 3-0, and that's obviously a big blow, definitely.
Before we move on then, have you seen it back? Do you have a view on whether it's a correct or incorrect decision?
It doesn't really matter, I think, what I would say, because anything I would say would be in the next couple of days in the media, and then the whole international break will be about me saying and commenting on a decision that the referee made. I just rather focus on the fact that we lost here today, 3-0. And but obviously, decisions are key. And today, the penalty and the disallowed goal was important decisions in the game. And, That's it. You guys can again can debate if it was should have been still or should have been a penalty or whatever.
Comment though on the Liverpool performance.
Forest at home next for Liverpool. Okay, he didn't want to give his view on it, but he said we can debate it, and we will do, because it was a big moment at 1-0.
Yeah,
he was involved in.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I said my piece at half time. I thought this was a really poor decision. I think the goalkeeper's got a totally clear view as Virgil van Dijk heads the ball. I don't think he affects the goalkeeper. I think if you remove Andy Robertson from the pitch at this stage, the ball goes in regardless. Okay, he has to duck to get out of the way of it, but that doesn't. The goalkeeper's got to dive regardless. The goalkeeper is going to dive regardless. He doesn't affect it in any way, shape or form. He is in an offside position, granted, but when you look at the rule, part of the rule is infringed, let's say, but part of it isn't. And I'm surprised that was given. I must admit, I think it was a poor decision. Now that's not the excuse for Liverpool losing. Manchester City were the best team, but that would have been 1-1. It would have changed the game, no question about it. And I think it's a poor decision.
Okay, we can now remind ourselves of the wording that the match centre sent out, much to his frustration. On a slot, the referee's call of offside, no goal to Liverpool, was checked and confirmed by VAR, with Robertson in an offside position, deemed to be making an obvious action directly in front of the goalkeeper. And you're shaking your head at the wording of that, Michael, because
an
influential moment, as you put it.
Yeah, it's difficult for me to give my view about it. I think it's obvious and clear that the wrong decision has been made, at least in my opinion.
Sorry, Anna, why do you think that?
Because he didn't interfere at all with what the goalkeeper could do. I immediately after the game, someone showed me the goal that what the same referee allowed City against Wolves last season, Wolves against City last season. So it took the linesman 13 seconds to raise his flag to say it's offside. So there was clearly communication. So, but as I said, that could have influenced the game in a positive way for us, because in the first half we were so poor. But yeah, a set piece can make a difference, and now we conceded the 2-0 from a set piece, and then that was maybe a fair reflection of the first half, by the way, us being 2-0 down. But that's maybe not where it's about.
Yeah.
He was pretty honest. Robbie Fowler alluding to the law there. Let's remind you of, just a few key words in the law, in terms of Law 11, the offside law, the last sentence there, making an obvious action which clearly impacts on the ability of an opponent to play the ball. And that is what you're contesting, the wording of that.
Yeah, it doesn't, does it? It doesn't impact the ability of the goalkeeper in this situation to play the ball. He doesn't impact it at all. He's not blocking his view. He's not blocking his dive. He's not. There is nothing that he's doing that's impacting it. So I think you've got a Manchester City fan, you've got a neutral, you've got myself, you've got Robbie Fowler, you've got everybody is saying the same thing. It's a bad decision, but don't take anything away from Manchester City. They still deserve the win.
And they got the win in the 1,000th game in his managerial career for Pep Guardiola.
Well, Pep, game 1,000, win 7-2-6. You looked as you walked around the pitch at the end there like a guy trying to savour every last moment. Did you really enjoy today?
A lot. They gave me a good present, the players, staff, backroom staff, with this performance and against the champions. Still, they are the champions, and they had to do a good performance, and they really defensively, and many good things happen, and the players perform in the highest level, all of them. My second half we dropped a little bit. Liverpool was better, but really pleased for everything.